Hello and welcome to Illuminations with Tiina and Fi. I'm Tiina.
And I'm Fi.
Hi Fi, Happy New Year, because it is the
Happy
new year, 2017. How are you?
I'm brilliant. Suddenly the 1st of January and I was in a really fabulous place. So I'm doing really well. Thank you, Tiina. It's nice to see you. We haven't seen each other for a while, so it's nice to see you.
It is. It is very, 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 very lovely. Now, we're starting a new series, and this month it's about inner peace. And Fi, this is something that you wanted to bring to the table, and you wanted it to be in January. So, therefore, I'll let you start, and I say why did you want to choose inner peace, especially now?
Well, it's an interesting one because when I was doing my research around language to use to connect with my community, what came out from a lot of people was they desired inner peace. So it's a kind of state that a lot of people desire. And then we know in January that it's a kind of tough time for a lot of people for a variety of reasons. And for example, in the UK, the second Monday in January is the highest suicide rate in the UK. And still is. So for me, I got a little bit emotional there, felt that little bit, that's okay. For me, it's a good time to talk about, inner peace, because that's often the opposite of where you are when you're maybe in a place of darkness, is looking at the inner peace side. And just to talk about what that is, I was interested because we've never talked about what it meant for each of us. So it'd be really interesting to see. So you okay if I carry on and rabbit?
Yes, I'd love to ask a question there.
Please.
And you said that there was various reasons of why suicide rates go up in January. And what are some of those reasons?
I think a lot of people get through the Christmas and the New Year, and I think there's something around hope. And the New Year is the idea of hope. People set resolutions. And I think if you, in your heart and soul, are lacking hope, I think it's just an even more challenging time when, the world around you is hopeful for the new year. I think it just illuminates maybe more, nice word, where you are as a person. And suddenly the thought of another new year ahead isn't how I felt this 1st of January. I felt like very excited about it. It's not like that. So I think people can often get into debt over Christmas, so that adds to it. They may have had family fallout over Christmas, which can happen, and that can add to it. The buzz of Christmas can take people out of an uncomfortable state, so they get on the buzz of that, and then when it's gone, there's like, well, what now?
It's
it's the down, yeah. So there's probably plenty other. Also, there's the classic, to be honest, as you know, we have limited sunshine hours, so that contributes as well. And if people aren't getting enough of their, midday kind of sun or light, you don't have to have sun, you just have light. There's all of that that can kick off as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm about to sneeze, so
you sneeze.
If I'm touching my nose funnily, then that's it. So you asked me if you could carry on. Yes, please.
Well, I just thought it's interesting to talk about what inner peace is, and it's about, I think when I did a vision board, you'll know this, about maybe 3 years ago now, actually, I did my first vision board. A desired state was inner peace. And it's hard to understand why now I looked for that, because I have it a lot of the time. I think when I don't, I understand it. Inside it felt very chaotic. It felt very confused. And so this place of inner peace I would say I spend most of my time in it. Now, it just so happens that pre-Christmas and after Christmas, I wasn't, for a variety of reasons. And that's why New Year's Day was wonderful. So it felt like a blister had popped, and I woke up going, bring it on. And maybe there's something about getting through, look at that language, but experiencing Christmas. And I just had lost that main place of inner peace. So what's brilliant is that I put it out there as a desired state, and I looked at how to move towards it. Didn't really plan it. It just, things came, and I worked through stuff, and some stuff resonated on how to keep me in this lovely place of inner peace. So I know next time we're going to look more at strategy. So I thought if we today explored maybe what inner peace. So for me, inner peace, I was thinking about this. It's a real hard one. So for me, I suppose, okay, let's talk about what I was feeling the last week. So last week, and as you know, my back got into a right spasm, and we've been talking about this, and I'm not a bath person. I've had to have baths to kind of get it relaxed, and I'm tense, my shoulders are up, I'm waking up in the night, unlocking my jaw. So that's the physiological kind of indicators for me that there's something going on. And so inner peace is when my body is more physically relaxed. When I have got a lot to do, as in with work, which obviously, I love, but there's things to do, but they feel okay. Everything is manageable. I allocate things out, and I kind of don't get into a state about it. So I stay calm. I look forward to every day because I know what I'm doing. People, I know when I'm really in a place of inner peace is when people can carry out behaviours in the past that would have triggered me, would have triggered some of my anger maybe, or irritation, or my wanting to withdraw. And actually I kind of just stay where I am. I'm in a bubble. It's like a bubble of peace. And it's something to do with, I think the belief change work that we did has helped as well, which we'll talk about next time. But it's like lightness. That's what it is. I have a lightness about my body. I feel lighter. I feel like my body can move more. I can sit on the floor cross-legged for hours and nothing goes, that's for me a place of inner peace. I get less controlling about my environment, so the cushions don't get poofed as much, and I kind of let go of that because my inner peace is like, do you know what? It doesn't matter, and that's. So what about you? Because I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about, what words describe inner peace. And I think the first word that came up was clarity. Clarity in life of what I'm doing and what I want to be doing, and then alignment to what I want to be doing. And I don't think, sometimes we think inner peace is this, and I don't think it is. Inner peace can be in that excitement of, getting into a new project, or that can be inner peace. So I think.
Tell me a bit more about alignment, Tiina.
Being aligned to being or living your purpose, for example. And it's also about boundaries. Being true to yourself. I think it's very much about when I'm not true to myself and what is I'm trying to stay away from the words right and wrong. What feels good for me in my life, kind of being on that right, there we go, right, being on the path that I have chosen. it then involves boundaries, to kind of flexible boundaries, allowing in the things that I want and keeping out the things that I don't want. And it's when I go against that which I have decided is the path for me, that the inner peace is then, kind of popples a little bit.
And so what kind of physiological signals do you get then? Because you obviously do, because you're kind of knowing when you go off that path. I'm just interested for you.
So I haven't thought about that actually, but it's a good one, because it's good indicators. When I was listening to you, I was like, oh, that's really good.
Okay.
So definitely, again, I have had back problems, lower back. So of course, and for me, it's also this, very, very tense. Then something's not right. When I noticed myself being at the kitchen cupboard doing this, and I go, how long have I been standing here putting stuff into my mouth? That's a huge indicator that something's really way off, because then it's just numbing. I'm just numbing something. So that would be one. And I think stomach, stomach is a real good indicator, kind of worried tummy, or, having to salute very often or something like that. It's like, oh, what's going on now? And also sleep, when the thoughts are just kind of churning, where the focus is not on now. It's the kind of worrying about the future, worrying about, when I'm here right now, that's more inner peace than when I'm off thinking about what ifs. What if this happened? What if that happened? Then, yeah.
That's brilliant. So you've got some really good indicators, which is, you're right, and I think what I'm beginning to realize, even having a conversation with you, and, well, we'll talk about strategies next time, but is actually, by the time my shoulder, because as we know, it's my shoulder, by the time that kicks off, I need to start to learn earlier signals. And I was just thinking, yeah, you're right. So that's too late. Now I'm thinking I'm going to start looking for some earlier indicators. And I'm not sure what they are, actually, if I'm honest. Because that is too late.
I know, but that's lovely. Now now you can do some detective work.
Yeah, because I would never be at the cupboard eating. It's interesting, because that's not my thing, but there's something, so I'm definitely going to start looking out for that, because that's really helpful. Because I definitely went off kilter the week after Christmas. Definitely, it was you and I were talking. I wasn't getting to sleep till 2 a.m, and I realized a few things were missing, and I'll talk about that next time. That has started to help bring it back again. But there were probably definitely indicators that I hadn't noticed. So that's really been interesting. I'm going to definitely look out for that, because when I'm in a peace, you're right, my whole body is quite relaxed. Flexible and fluid, that's the word. You said flexible boundaries. It's like, that's what it is. You're right. It's like I can live in a more flexible and fluid way, like the cushions don't need poofing and things like that, because that inner peace is there. It's grounding. It's kind of like
yeah. And what you said then about the external world, people behaving in certain ways, like, not my thing, it's nothing to do with me, and it's a wonderful feeling. It's like, why am I not getting upset about this anymore? And then you enter the next week and you're like upset about it again, and you kind of go, okay.
So maybe one of my early indicators is if I want to punch somebody in the face. No, I'm only joking. It never gets to that anymore. But actually, that's right. No, it used to. That's what was going on in my head. Loads of stuff was going on in my head, But actually, that's really helpful as well, is maybe looking at early indicators of how I respond to people who are close to me as well. So I'm going to start noticing this. I'm going to notice what keeps me here and what's the signs of when I am here, because that's obviously helpful. And then obviously notice for when things start to slightly change, so that I can keep a handle on that. Because when I'm in inner peace, it is, I mean, this last week, I've had a lot to do, but there's been this kind of just lovely flow. That is brilliant wording. I had my own coaching yesterday, and flow came out quite strongly for me, and I can see that was a gift, because that flow is pretty cool. Brilliant.
Hey, but I wanted to actually, I need to check the time. Let's be authentic about this. Okay.
Nearly time.
Nearly time. So
the clock's about to ding. I know the sound.
Yes. Okay. So maybe I'll get into that question next time. Let's see. I've got a question on the tip of my tongue.
Go on then. Yeah.
No. But well, let's wrap up, because otherwise we'll be, So let's just. So, what question do you want to put out there, Fifi?
So I wonder, a good question is for people. So how do you know when you are in a state of inner peace? Let's get people, and then notice how many times a day you are in that. 2 questions. So how do you know? And then, so look at physiology, look at your own behavior, look at how you respond to the world and to others, and then notice how many times a day you are actually in inner peace, because that's part of next session as well.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you for that very open and honest conversation about inner peace.
Thank you.
I look forward to strategies. That'll be interesting.
Yes.
Until then, take care.
Thank you, Tiina. Bye now.
Bye.